Nothing bad's happening this weekend. Hey, everyone.
Hi. Good morning or afternoon. It's afternoon here anyway. It's morning pretty much
It's
everywhere else. Welcome to
yes.
Fempreneur True Confessions podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It's morning here, so um, I'm Laura or Oda, and I am an owner and founder of an agency of virtual assistants, project managers who help out behind the scenes, get all the things done, help with thought and strategy, a lot of emotional support. A lot of different things that go on with business owners. In all reality, when people say, "What do you do?" there are very specific things, and then there's a bunch of other things, kind of what Oda means too. So
Other
that is what
duties
we
as
do.
assigned. I remember
Yeah.
that in corporate. 'Cause Laura and I have both been in corporate for combined like 50 years or something, and I remember that every job description and other duties as assigned.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
It
anyway,
was
I'm
funny
Angela.
when the team said that, and because it was my team in corporate that really went with that, and they were like, "We'll just call you Oda," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll do these as a side." I was like, "Yeah, okay, that fits,"
Yeah.
and that's how it came about.
Well, Laura and I do really similar things. I also have a team, and we do project and event management. I do several in-person events a month, virtual events every month, uh, mainly dealing with networking, business networking. But I'm also really super excited about a new venture. I'll be facilitating a advanced peer advisory forum, and I'm really, really excited about that. And that will launch next month. So, um, but we do really similar things, and instead of competing, we kind of just decided, why don't we just help each other and support each other,
Mhm.
even though we do the same thing. I don't even know how it came about. We just did it.
Yeah, it was just well, there was some kind of trust. We did have some similar experiences, and when I finally approached you, it was really about, oh, I just made a terrible decision, and I really just need someone to talk to. We were in the group together, and I was like, "Have you ever had this happen?" And I was telling you this scenario, and you hadn't had that experience, but you were understanding and starting to go over like the things that you had gone through, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, we've had some similar and then some unfamiliar to each other kind of
Right.
situations happen, and it's very
Yeah.
interesting. So,
And yet
non-similar.
no one was talking about them. And that's how the podcast came about, was like, oh, well, nobody's talking about that shit show. Everybody's talking about all the Instagram produced successes, and how to
Yeah.
hit six figures in 3 days. And it's just Chanel's in the green room
Yeah.
laughing at us because it's just true.
Yeah.
So that's why we started the podcast, and why we started inviting other women to come in and share their stories and talk about their experiences, so we could all uh, model it for each other and normalize it. That
Yeah.
this entrepreneurial stuff ain't so easy. It's very
Right.
rewarding, which
Yes.
makes it worth it. But is it
Yeah.
easy all the time? Nope. And that's what nobody
Well,
was
being
talking
able to
about.
get to a point where you can really laugh at that. Like for me,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always teaching my son is the hindsight of, you will one day laugh at this. When you can get to that point, then you're, but until you're at that point, you're in the weeds of it. And you're like, this is not funny. It's funny. In a bird's
In
eye view, this
hindsight,
is,
it's always funny. Well, almost always.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of green rooms and guests, let's bring her on up and get let's
Okay,
hear her story. I can't wait.
absolutely. I'm going to do this real quick. I feel it getting weird. So, Chanel Martin is an award winning chemical engineer turned serial entrepreneur, recognized for her impact in media, beauty, tech, and innovation. She is the founder and CEO of Beyond the Book Media, where she helps authors, good lord, and brands publish manuscripts in as little as 30 days, and the author of Speak Up, We Deserve to Be Heard, featured in outlets like Forbes, Business Insider, Essence, and BET. Chanel has a decade of experience helping entrepreneurs scale through storytelling and community building. Her latest venture, Her Beauty Regimen, is a marketplace dedicated to intentional wellness driven beauty routines. She also co founded Myavana. Is that the
Yep, that's
first
how you.
AI
Yep.
powered personalized hair care recommendation system for women of color? Across all of her ventures, Chanel leads with a commitment to innovation, empowerment, and cultural impact. Welcome.
Hello, hello,
Great.
welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
We're so glad to have you
Absolutely.
here. We're so blessed to have such wonderful guests and just beautiful humans.
Yeah.
And I always like to like reflect and try to remember, how did we cross paths? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it was through, I believe, my publicist, Janie.
Okay.
She may have worked with you guys and found you guys and felt like we'd be a good fit. So
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
We,
Nice.
when we first started out, we just sent an invitation out to our email list.
Wow.
Mhm.
But I guess it was probably last year the agency started picking us up. And we very rarely, unless it's a last minute cancellation,
Mhm.
like we've had uh, was it Felly Day, who's been on the podcast before. She
Mhm.
had to cancel. I think it was last week because she was ill.
Yeah.
But other than that, like we typically have right now, I think we're booked almost through the end of the year.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't really solicit. We
Mm-mm.
really don't.
No, it's been word of
We put
mouth.
posts on social media like,
Right.
want to be on a podcast? We're, this is what we're about.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
really excited to have you here, and you're in Atlanta. How hot is it
Yes.
there right now?
It was pretty high yesterday, but here you don't know what weather you're gonna get. It's bipolar. So
What is that? What is that time of year? Like we're super confused. I'm in Oklahoma and we're all lost because it's about to be 90 today. So
really, what part of Oklahoma are you in?
I'm right outside of Tulsa in Broken Arrow.
Okay, I am originally from Oklahoma City.
Oh,
Um,
there you go.
Oklahoma,
yes,
Oklahoma
Oklahoma
City.
City.
Okay.
Yes, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Yep, I
Yeah.
was born and raised there, and I came to Atlanta for college
OKC.
and
OKC.
never
Oh,
left.
we got here about 7 years ago. But it's different. We came from Colorado, and then I'm originally from New
Wow.
York. So
Okay.
Oklahoma's a bit different, and it's been an adjustment, but it's been a great journey. Business started here, so and we're here. My son graduated high school from Broken Arrow, so
Okay.
it's been nice. It was a different plan, and it
Yeah.
happened quick, but we've enjoyed it. So yeah,
Okay.
it's great.
Well, I think that it's cool that so I'm from the Midwest, as
Okay.
far as like that's where I had my family, raised my kids.
Hmm.
My daughters are there, my grandchildren are there. They're in the St. Louis area in the
Hmm.
Boot of Missouri. And I love that area. And I really, really wanted to go back and see the fall colors this year, but I don't think it's going to happen this year because we want to go for Thanksgiving or Christmas or both, right? But I
Hmm.
have a new grandbaby. He's 6 months old, and like, oh, I'm not going to start crying now because I will make every excuse to go see that baby,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Um, but today we're going to talk about how to trust but verify. And I
Yep.
don't think we've ever talked about anything
No.
like this. So
Mm-mm.
going to kind of hand over the floor to you, Chanel, and let you just tell your story and share your. I just think it's such an important lesson that and I want to say to preface this with thank you for being vulnerable and sharing it,
Oh
because
yeah.
it's hard when we, I'm sorry, excuse my French, fuck up, to
Hmm.
Right.
say, hey, this was pretty bad and this is what I learned,
Oh gosh.
um
Yes.
because I've been there. I have screwed up not just once, multiple
Yeah.
times.
Right.
And other people, and I still deal with it. I still have family
Mhm.
members that look at me and go, "Okay, Angelique, right? Because we know your track record."
Right.
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 So, but the
Right.
important thing is we learn from it, right?
Okay, yeah. So, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. And I'm so glad we're talking about it now because the hurt and pain has
Right.
eased
Yes.
since then. I think it was one of those things where my eyes would tear up every time I would think about it. But I consider myself a very trusting person. I am positive by nature. I really believe people are genuinely good. I trust what people tell
You
me.
assume good intent,
I
right?
do always. I don't even know how to hold a grudge. Um,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
don't.
Wait, I think she's a saint.
No, no, no. I say I'm gonna tell you. So this might be a little bit because I'm a little neurodivergent. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I think half of it has to do with the fact that I don't remember to be mad at anyone. I literally can't remember.
Thank you. Oh my God, you're the first one to say it. But when I used to discipline my son, I would say, "Oh, I forgot he was in trouble. Like I
It was
forgot to
oh
give him
god.
back the thing," and that I forget to be mad. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm still
I
mad.
as a kid, I used to if my mom made me mad or something, I would write sticky notes to remind myself in the morning, "You're not talking to mom," or it was just like crazy because I just I couldn't remember. It's like every day that everyone gets a fresh slate. Like even if I was mad,
Like
and
50 First Dates, the movie.
yeah,
Yes. Oh,
exactly. That was me. And so what happens is even in my big age, I still really believe what people tell me. I really believe it. And I think that's just who I am. And so I built a company. We talked about it in the intro, Beyond the Book Media, and it's a publishing agency. We've helped thousands of people write books. And then we've published a few hundred of them that have gone to publish with us. And we're about 6 years old and we grew exponentially. So I had the opportunity to start the business right before COVID, but we just exploded in COVID. Everyone was at home, so
Yeah.
everyone was writing books.
Yes.
People had more money. It really set us up for success. So it was like I had like the perfect timing to come into the publishing space. I think at that time, KDP had bought, Amazon had bought Create Space. So it was just a big move to publish. So a lot
Perfect
of people are
storm.
writing and publishing books. And I was at the time pretty much a stay at home mom. I had just had my third child, and this was the perfect business to do because it was easy. I was at home, it was pretty much handed to me. Like, I wrote a book, and then everyone kept asking me how I wrote and published it. And that is literally how we started. I started helping people do it. Now we grew really quickly, and so I started bringing people on our team because, again, I told y'all I got 3 kids now. I couldn't do it all, and then y'all, I'm an engineer by trade, so I can't spell. And I say that I cannot spell. Don't have me edit, proofread, nothing. Okay. So a lot of the things in the company, which I think that's another reason why we were able to grow so fast because it wasn't dependent upon me. So I hired
Right.
for
You
every
weren't,
role.
yeah, you weren't a bottleneck.
Oh, I
You're
was
like
not.
delegate, delegate, delegate.
Oh, I was chief delegator because I didn't know how to do it. So I wasn't gonna design your book cover. I wasn't even gonna try. I'm not editing your book. I could format. So I have I have enough graphic design skills to be a little nasty with it, just a little. But I'm not I couldn't do it. And as soon as I started feeling overwhelmed, I started delegating. So one of the things I delegated very quickly was customer service and customer care because I realized, and I've gotten a lot softer since then, that I was a very straight to the point communicator, and that would rub some of our clients the wrong way. So I found that very, they want a little bit more seasoning in their responses. Now we have Chat GPT, so we can just put our responses in that. But this this is before Chatty would help us talk nicely to people. So, like, let's say if someone had a question or a problem, I was so straight to the point.
Mhm.
And it would come off a bit abrasive. So I started hiring team members that were better at communicating and having empathy
Mhm.
with clients in managing that process. And so We grew very quickly. We built this system to quickly acquire clients, convert them, that we would bring them in as writing coaching clients. And then 25% of those clients would convert and purchase publishing packages with us. And so we grew very, very quickly. We were a little bit, our prices were lower than the industry standard. So it was a no brainer for people to sign up because I was still new to this. And so we had a really big, decent book of business and customers. So also during this time, I have another baby. Yeah, never on baby number 4. And I started exploring other ventures. I knew I wanted to get back into the hair industry, and I started like working on other things. Because I'm a problem solver. So new problems were
Mhm.
rising for me to solve. So I'm thinking, okay, we have this under control. Let me go work on this, my other ventures or other things that I feel very called to do. And so I started doing that, and those ventures made a lot of money as well. Like they were doing very well. And because I'm not a meeting person, I hate meetings, and I'm not a micromanager. Like I think I was just created to be a high level executive because and and I'll rather meet with one person and then go have them go talk to everybody else. So I didn't really have a lot of meetings because I'm like, well, we use Slack to communicate. If I'm communicating, I did do so. What I did do was like a 10-minute Slack check in every morning. Like, hey, what y'all are going on? That was sufficient for me. I'm not a micromanager.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking things are going good. And then one of the people that I hired was a family member. So we talked frequently on the phone, and I just like, oh wow, such. And I'm just getting all of this positive, things are good, things are good. Whew. So what happened was I started getting I have managed to keep a very great reputation of integrity and honesty. And so things were happening in my company that I had no idea. No one was telling me. And so people were finding me on like Instagram. I was getting DMs like, hey, Chanel, I don't know if you know this is going on, but I haven't been able to get a hold of said person that was their project manager. And I'm like, huh, what do you mean? So then I'm going back to my team, and I'm on my team. I'm a mama
Mhm.
bear. Like I believe my kids over anybody else. So
Mhm.
so I'm like, and I know, clients can be a little crazy. So, so I'm thinking, okay, they're just nuts. They want extra stuff. We're not whatever. So and then we learned a lot. So we started putting in deadlines and contracts. I really set up a good system where no one should be, because again, I'm an engineer, I'm a process girl. No one should, if
Right,
you
right.
follow my steps, no one should be falling through the cracks. Well, long story short, I had a book that I wanted to publish. And I think we started doing team meetings, but like my team seemed so stressed. And I was like, I'll do it. I said, well, I'll do it. So I became my own project manager for my own project. Okay. Whew, that was when I discovered because it forced me to kind of start doing some digging.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, let me go get my own ISBN. Oh, wait, why do we have 50 incomplete ISBNs? Okay, well, let me go and submit my own cover to so I started moving myself through the process and realized, I said, what is going on? And I started digging, and then I called a meeting and I said, I need y'all to give me every client that's on the book that's in process. I need you to give me a master spreadsheet of everybody we have on our books, everybody and where they are in the process. Like, I need to know. And so it took a while for them to comb through all those people.
Mhm.
And when I looked at that list, y'all, it was over 40 people that had incomplete projects.
Mm.
And then I asked, because we had started initiating contract expiration dates so that people wouldn't buy a package and then just not send us their stuff. And
Right.
then
12
5
years
years
later
later.
want to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, you got to get this done. And of course, we were very lenient. It wasn't like a hard date, but like if we ain't heard from you in 8 months and you trying to, no, we can't finish you that fast. Or, it's going to take a little bit longer. So anywho, I said put their contract expiration dates. So at the time there were a little over 40 people. So I want you to think each one of those 40 people probably paid around $3,000 for their package. And most of those people had bought packages a year and 2 years prior.
Mm.
Mm,
So that means
mm-mm.
that they were, I know, y'all,
Laura.
oh God, I
Ouch!
know.
Like my heart just jumped. Like, oh God! I was having that conversation this morning with a VA, and that hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even think that was possible because I'm such a routine person. I would never pay somebody money and not finish my stuff. Like, so I didn't even know that this was a possibility. Y'all. I had no idea that people did this. That was a big lesson. So then I'm like, I said, give me where they are in the process, last communication and contract expiration date. Half of them their contracts were expired.
Mm.
And some of them hadn't even started. So I looked at that list, y'all, and lost it. That was over 6 figures of business that I'm not recouping any money. Their money was spent last year.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, and because remember I told y'all I don't know how to do none of this stuff. So I had to keep paying my team to fulfill
Mm-hmm.
projects that I didn't have no budget left for.
Yeah.
So what we ended up doing, and this was so hard, like I had to put my CEO panties on, and I'm so grateful. I thank God because I'm like, okay, I'd rather this be a 6 figure problem than a 7 figure problem. I'm glad I learned this lesson so early, but it was still very hard for me as a small business, and so I looked and I had to make the hard decision. If you weren't at a certain point in your process where we were close to finishing, I canceled you. Oh, and they got mad. Oh my goodness. I got called a scammer. I took folks' money. And we had receipts though. It's just that so the people that I had in charge, they weren't as strict as me. So they kept giving extensions. They kept so it was documented and I had signed contracts. So I had legal right to cancel. I just it doesn't serve us good to cancel your
Right.
agreement. You
Right.
know, like you're not going to
Yeah.
be a testimonial. You're not going to have a like. I didn't want to do, but I could not afford it, so we canceled half of them, and they were mad. I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Oh gosh, it was so hurtful, and I cried because my name is so important to me, and being honest and being integral. But I just couldn't afford it. So then we're left with 20 other projects, 20 a little over 20 projects that we still have to finish because they were either really close, or some of them might have still been in no, most of them were out of contract. They were close and I didn't want to I wanted to finish the job. It made sense for us to finish the job. And so I had to go in and apologize. I had to go in and ask them to bear with us. And then we had to get started. So where I really messed up was so imagine over 20 so we fired the other 20 clients. So that was stressful enough. Then we
Yeah.
have 20 clients that we have to fulfill. And then we're still trying to bring in new business. But that killed my budget. I couldn't make enough money to pay for new clients and old clients. So it was like I was such in a negative. I learned about cash flow, boy. Listen, right there then, I was like, okay, this account gonna be negative, but I'm gonna have this account, how the money go with this account, and then oh my, I learned. I didn't understand cash flow, but I learned that was a big
You
lesson.
mastered it, didn't
Oh, I
you?
did because that was the only way. So I had to like have all these bank accounts with a little bit of money going here so I could make sure I could pay my team here. And then I was like, okay, this could be negative 2,000, but I'll get another, I'll work and I'll clear that balance. Like I was over there playing chess with the bank accounts, and it was so stressful because I'm not even a money girl. Like I can make money, but I'm not a money manager. I told you I'm high level. I had an accountant and stuff that did that, but I had to fire everybody. I had to fire my accountant, which because I could not afford his services. I took everybody off of payroll and made everyone go 1099 because I couldn't
Mhm.
afford the payroll taxes. Um, what else did I do? I stopped paying myself. I couldn't afford to be on payroll. What else? Oh, I took out every loan that you could take out so I could meet, and I didn't stop payroll very quickly. I tried to hold on for as long as I could until I made people become 1099, which I think might have been a little illegal, but it was the only way that I could figure something out because I had maxed out every credit card, every loan. I could not meet payroll because you have to pay payroll taxes. Like I could not afford to do that. And I had to get people off of I just had to do I had to we had to cut hours, and then I had to let go of our I had to start letting go of our team members. And then I let some team members go. Um, and I was behind on paying them. I did pay them though. I was like, look, I can't, I had to go tell people, hey, I can't pay you this month. Now I was hustling. Now I would figure out a way. I hustled. The other business I told you about that was doing very well, yeah, that money went all back into to that business, all of it. Anything that I took home, I put it back. And when I say all of, like my salary that I made came back into the business. My dad had passed away. My inheritance went back into the business. Like it was such a mess to clean up because I'm paying for old, and then I'm trying to pay to service the current clients, and it just felt like a hole that I couldn't get out of. And so in that process, y'all, I lost every single credit card got cut off. Um, I got in so much debt, and I felt awful. I don't got the same team that ended up causing a rift. And what I did do was I called my bank, and they recommended like a debt relief program. And and so I got on the debt relief program. They figure I paid them a month. I am still paying people salaries, y'all, and they don't even work there. I'm paying a monthly lump sum of money to pay off the debt. And that was a 5-year agreement. And it's been about 2 years. So I'm paying for people that don't even work for me anymore. Right. And so what that taught me was that I can't be so mission focused that I miss the details. And that's a weakness of mine because I'm really good at driving a mission. I'm actually really good at getting stuff done. I'm really good at empowering people to get stuff done too. So I can move pretty quickly through tasks. And oftentimes I would forget that everyone's not built like me. I'm not starting something that I'm not finishing. Right. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, why would you not? And I remember like my husband asking me questions, and I was like, no, we're good. We was not good. We were not good. Actually, it caused several strained relationships with
I
people on our
bet.
team. And what I learned from that, and we talk about trust but verify, man, it was my issue that I'm still climbing out of was a leadership issue. It was not a money making issue because
Right.
that's where some entrepreneurs they're like, I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to sell. That wasn't my problem. It was trying to scale quickly and not being the good leader that the team needed. Because I didn't want to do that. That was not the fun part. And so I'm a little bit of more, I'm way more anal about it. I hate that I have to be like that, but I'm like have flashbacks to looking at
Yeah,
that.
you've got a little PTSD going now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
but it makes sense, and we talk about it all the time when it's about leadership. Like my leadership style tend to be somewhere in the middle. Some days I had to be the heavy and get people going. Other days I was in the middle, in the weeds with everyone, and other days I was doing the stuff that everybody had checked out of. Like
yeah,
this is what built up because everybody else checked out. Like you said, why would you start something you're not going to finish? So, but leaders tend to be in all of those sections,
yeah,
and then just where you're at the most. Like your leadership style was more you like the fun parts, but now you're like, oh crap. It's really hard to admit that, and I applaud you because
yeah,
most leaders aren't going to say I was the problem. The leadership was the
yeah.
problem. And that falls on me. Anything in my business, if something goes wrong, I'm the
It's
one
on
that's
me.
got to eat the crow on it. That shit is on me.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability's on
Mhm.
me. Leadership was on me. Um, and I can talk with the team, but it takes a lot to admit all of that. And so I applaud you because yeah, that's a vulnerability that a lot of people don't ever get to. So
Thank you for that. And it's
absolutely.
because like I said, I try to be really integral. I'm not perfect, but I do take responsibility. That's an important value for me. Now, even though I might have cussed and cried and kicked and been upset, I still knew that I had to take responsibility. But what it did was it made I'm such a more stronger and more confident and bolder leader, meaning, and I'm gonna tell you why, because that didn't break me. That what I went through was a worst nightmare. That would have been a worst nightmare. That didn't break me, and it still hasn't broken me. And I'm like, man, like I really bossed up and got ish done. And even though we're still working through it, it really empowered me to say, okay, Chanel, like number one, I can do less, I can do more with less. So I have a way more leaner team. And number two, when problems arise, I have that as like a point of faith to say, okay, well, if I could figure out how to navigate this, okay, Chanel, put your thinking hat on. Let's go pray. Let's talk to Jesus. What we got to do. And I've had some challenges since then, but they haven't been everything, my world's going to fall apart. Let me go cry in the hole challenges. It's let's boss up and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and so with that, guys, you guys have a great week. No, I'm kidding. Mic drop.
Mic drop, for real. Because it's just, and that's the reality. And like you said, you can do with less and really come back to that and tighten that up. But your eyes are on it now. And it's not that it doesn't seem to have made you so tight. Yes, maybe a little more anal, but still to be able to have that freedom with your team, there is a way to get to that faith.
And a very tight team now.
Yeah. I have what it did, it forced me to really be big on training, like in SOPs. And making sure that making sure we have meetings and even double checking. So I'm still not tight. Yeah, I'm not tight. I don't even have the capacity. I got 4 kids, y'all. I don't got capacity. Like my brain, I feel like I am the perfect client. Meaning, if I hire somebody to do a job, I still, regardless of what's going on, if I believe in you, I believe you're going to do that job. I am not a micromanager. I got to breathe over someone's shoulder. And I'm like that in business too. It just takes too much effort and energy for me. But it does, when I have to be, I can. So if I feel like if something starts not looking right, like my spidey senses, my Holy Spirit in me is let me pay attention, because there were clues. Don't get it twisted. There were clues.
Hindsight. Yeah.
I ignored it. Okay. But now I'm not ignoring those things, and I'm thinking about them in advance.
And you have, like you said, you've got the systems and processes in place that also work as a double check to prevent it from happening again. Which, that's one of the most valuable things, I think, as project managers, online business managers, the people that are out there doing the systems and processes. It's not fun for most people. I kind of geek out on it, but
I do too.
It's just so important for business success, especially if you want to scale.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, and I actually am a systems girl, a process girl. I worked in a plant as a process engineer. However, I think where I was so lenient was because I had never, the business fell in my lap. I didn't know that industry. And so I just kind of was open to figuring it out. I was more open to other people's expertise, wisdom. I really was a student in the process. And so, and if we would have came into something that I knew, now I run a tight ship on, I mean, you're going to get a manual. You're going to get and even now I'm still a little bit like that. We're going to know what to do. Like I kind of really ran a tight ship, but still not a micromanaging tight ship. Like you have everything, you have expectations. We're going to check in. I'm empowering you to do what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I didn't do that. And also I've learned a little bit from that situation too. So yes, trust, but verify.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's hard. Coming from corporate, I thought I knew admin, like, VA work. And then, of course, And then I was like, well, no, then I was a team developer. So the agency made sense. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of questions. I've realized a lot of stuff I don't know, which keeps your confidence kind of always butt up against things because you're like, I guess that works. We have a client recently where I'm like, oh, this was a clear idea of what you didn't know what you didn't know. And
Yeah.
we're solving that problem now. But it's things like that where you're butt up against it because you really then have to trust it. And that's where again most of the problems come in is you're like, I used to say, I know this. Why would I allow this in my business? Or why am I struggling with something that was so easy in corporate for me? And
Mm.
that's what it is. It's that, like you said, like you may not know the industry. You may not feel confident that you know all the parts because you keep
Yeah.
hearing, we hear things too and stuff. So
Yes.
definitely. Can I ask you a quick question?
Mhm.
What sign are you? Astrologically.
Virgo.
Oh, that makes so much fucking sense.
Why do you say that? I'm
Because
so
Virgos
curious.
are the ones that are like, I need to get this done. And it's done. It's like magic. You wave a wand. You and you're I mean, it's bossy, it's mean. There are moments, I'm sorry, I'm surrounded by Virgos in my world. I was raised with three of them,
Mhm.
and I have people. So I have a thing with Virgos. But I just it made total sense. I was like, you yeah. I just needed to know because I wanted to verify. I wanted to be like, oh God, yes, you were right about that. But there is a sense about Virgos. They are definitely the ones you call when you need to get shit done. That get shit done is your guys' name. Get shit done.
Yep.
That's
Get
your
it
middle
done.
name.
Get it done. So when you mix that, I'm like Miss Get It Done with also I'm moving. I'm really believing that you're getting it done, or you're giving me you're pretending to get it done. I'm gonna believe that you're getting it done if I'm seeing results, but not no more though. I don't do that no more. But that's what I was doing. I was kind of running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so funny. Sorry, I went off track, but that was definitely
That's okay. That's okay. Um, so one of the things that we like to do on the podcast is have our current guest introduce the next guest. So Chanel has been generous to do that. So we're gonna let her do that. But the first thing we're gonna do though is you recently launched a new venture. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So I have a passion for beauty, even though I came on y'all's podcast with no makeup on, giving my face a break.
And
Uh,
why isn't that beauty?
um,
Hair, right?
yeah, I can, but I have a passion for hair and beauty. I actually became a chemical engineer because I wanted to develop products and science in the beauty industry and really take a deeper analysis. Else, I was going to be an actress. It was either an actress or an engineer. So I chose engineering. I know, right, yeah. I'm a very complicated woman, but I had the opportunity to do so with my very first company that I helped to co-found called Myavana. We developed science and technology surrounding hair care. And then, but what I learned was there were a lot of smaller brands in our process of like, I built a product recommendation engine based on what's going on with your hair. And I started finding like there were a lot of products that weren't getting the exposure. They weren't in Target and Walmart. And now,
Right,
maybe
right.
even Sephora. And also they were small makers. And I had always felt in my heart that like, man, and then as an engineer and a scientist, clean beauty was important to me as well. And then I found out about the maker community. And I just was so like fascinated with, wow, how can I help and create something that will give exposure to smaller brands? And so, of course, there's Etsy and then people selling their own stores. I was like, what if we could create a platform that gave you the look and feel and the dedicated space of a Etsy meets an Amazon meets a Sephora, right? And so that's
Yeah.
what we're building with Her Beauty Regimen. And I also believe in women looking and feeling their best. That's something that I prioritize and make sure that as a mom of four, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, I wear many hats. But I noticed that a lot of us, we don't prioritize looking and feeling their best. I know that when I look my best, I make more money and I'm happier. I love that my kids get to see their mother looking good, feeling good. So we're setting a good example. And so I wanted to create essentially a movement. And so we launched our marketplace July 15th. So you can go to herbeautyregimen.com. But we have other things that are in the works. Trips and
No.
conferences and all kind of just initiatives to help women create her beauty regimen. So
I
and
love it. Yep. So we'll drop the link for that in the show notes, of course, and all the places where Chanel is Chanelling, and um, the websites, social
thank you.
media. Um, do you have a podcast too?
I do. I just recently launched a podcast called Her Beauty Regimen with Chanel, and it's where I am interviewing beauty founders
Awesome.
and influencers about their journeys.
And her beauty regimen isn't just about ethnic skin,
No,
correct?
no, it's not. No,
Okay.
it's for women.
It's just for women. It's just for women.
It's for women. It's
No
for
men's. No
yeah.
men's.
I mean, some men may find like I think we have like some beard oil or something on there, but really, if men, men's
That's because the
product.
women are buying it for their men.
Yeah,
Okay, let's be
exactly. Right. So, but majority of the products are going to be catered towards women.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to check it out. I have cranky skin. I have sensitive skin, and it's really hard for me to find a product that will work
Hmm.
without breaking me out.
Yeah.
And so I'm always on the hunt for that. And I love using like natural, local.
And
Um,
I talk about that often, just with my experience as an engineer. A lot of times when it's really expensive to mass produce holistic organic products, like that is super expensive, and just even finding the volume that is required when you are running mass distribution. So if you are I used to work in a manufacturing plant, so if we're making something and we need to make 100,000 units a day or something like that, right, in order
yeah,
to meet the fulfillment, finding, sourcing some of these really,
ingredients.
yeah, ingredients, that's going to be so expensive to run on machinery. And so they will find the cheaper, you know, adjacent product, maybe that they made, the synthetic version of it that may be very similar, but not, it's missing the holistic piece. And
Yeah,
so when you work with smaller brands, there they do small batches, and so they're not worried about cranking out $1 million worth of products a week or whatnot. And so they have the ability to source that in smaller volumes. So that's why I recommend like shopping small.
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Yeah,
I
love it.
love you. God, you're great. You're like you're a walking billboard
Well,
for
it's that
diversity,
thing where she
humor,
saw,
and healthy, and I just love it.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
yeah,
you.
she saw a need, and so
Mhm.
she filled it, right? She
Mhm.
became the change she wanted to see.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's really,
Absolutely.
really, really cool.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So next week's guest is Deanna. I interviewed Deanna. Laura, I don't think you made it to
I
that
think
one.
it's Wallen. It would be
I think
Waylon
so.
if it was one L. I think it's Wallen.
So
Yes.
that's next week's guest. So Chanel, take it away.
Yes. So we have Deanna, and she's the CEO and founder of Naples Soap Company. But her journey started long before she built a skincare empire. She's a licensed esthetician, a former nurse, and she turned her own struggles with chronic skin conditions into a passion for helping others. In 2009, she opened a tiny 300 square foot shop in Tin City. And what started small has grown into 13 stores across Florida, a booming e-commerce business and nationwide partnerships. In 2021, she took the company public under the symbol NASO. Along the way, Deanna has been recognized with numerous awards, including the Florida SBDC Distinguished Entrepreneur Award and several honors as one of Naples' most influential business leaders. Her story is one of resilience, innovation, and turning personal challenges into something that helps thousands of others. So we're excited for Deanna next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
See how the skincare kind of folded.
I
us in?
did. That did. That was perfect.
We don't plan these. Everybody self schedules.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, really looking forward to having Deanna next week. Our little announcement this week is just go out there and engage with the podcast. Follow us if you are listening. And we've had somebody hanging on out there on YouTube watching today. Thank you so much for sitting with us live and listening in. If you haven't, if you're hearing this and you haven't yet left a review somewhere, wherever you listen to podcasts, please, please, please do that. It really helps us out. We're getting ready to monetize the podcast, and super excited about it. It's really going to happen, y'all. It's
Right.
been it'll be 3 years in October, which is like
Yeah.
a day away, 2 days away. It'll be 3 years, and it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast. And we've had awesome guests like you, Chanel. Thank you again so much for being with us here today. And we will see you guys next week. We are live here every Monday at 12 Eastern. So y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Enjoy.
Bye.